Hello world. Um, my name is DM Aderobigbe, and so I'll be giving a speech today on on some aspect of peace. Before I begin, I just want to say a quick thank you to you know to the Writing for Peace organization. They are doing a great job, and I'm glad, they invited me to be a part of this. So, my talk today will center on the primary unit of the society, which is the family. For some reason, I find that when we talk about how peace can be achieved, we usually start from the community, then we move to the village, then to the town, then to the city, and so on, leaving out the most important spectrum of the society. I mean, what makes up a village, a community, a society, a town, etc., if not a collection of families, right? So, to further my point, like to buttress the importance of family in achieving peace, let's take a look at kids who become child soldiers. The first thing their doctors do, for instance, is to kill these kids' parents in their presence. You know, they rape their sisters. That's if these kids have any. The repercussion of this is a psychological scar, which in turn makes these kids kill with reckless abandon. So let's take a look at this from a different viewpoint, a non-war situation actually. When I was a teenager, I remember visiting a friend of mine, and we were we were in their house when my friend's older brother punched his girlfriend, punched the older brother punched the older brother's girlfriend because the girl provoked him. And so when my friend's mom, who is their mom, tried to intervene, and was like, why did you do that? Why did you punch her? And all that. The next thing the guy who punched his girlfriend said to his mom is, why don't you ever say anything when dad does this to you? Why are you saying anything now? You know? So we are fooling ourselves to think that this is a rare occurrence. It was an everyday event for me when I was growing up. It is still a common happening. Yes, it is a common happening in two out of three families for children to see their mother face down after being beaten. Sometimes with visible injuries, sometimes with internal injuries, sometimes with both. And even when these injuries are neither visible nor internal, they sort of, wreak a psychological damage on the victim. Many kids grow up with a mindset that there is little or no love in the world. I haven't seen the two biggest influences in their life, that is, in their lives, that their mom and their dad plunging into each other. How do we expect such kids who have witnessed such thing growing up, when grown to how do we expect them to see the world? Let's pretend, let's act like we're those kids. How do we see the world? Or how do we expect such kids to value peace when growing up is kind of like growing up for them was kind of like filled with turmoil, fights, and violence and everything. Of course, of course, there are exceptions to this. But even among these exceptions, these men are still rears its ugly heads once in a while. So for me, I believe that the greatest wars are fought around tables and chairs with spoons and forks. Hence, true peace should start from nowhere else but the family. And how do we do this? More women should be encouraged to come forward when they are abused. Trust me, when I say this, trust me when I say this. I haven't grown up, watch my mom watch my mom, get beaten at the slightest provocation by my father, by the man she loved. My mom couldn't report to anyone because she was told she didn't matter. She was told her voice could not be heard. Because my dad beating my mom was nothing new. It was rather a progression of an age-long tradition. This what we need to do is to make these victims realize that their voices can be heard. And how do we do this? It's by listening to them. It's by advocating for the abuse. By demanding for legislative, by demanding for changes in by demanding for legislative changes and all that. So to further my speech, I would just try to kind of like read a poem that I'm accepting from my recently published chapbook, the poems in this chapbook are centered around themes of domestic violence and family relationships and all that and that. So I would try to read out a poem. I will try to read this poem. The title of this poem is Perceiving Him. Sunspots sat on the window sills of my classroom. The mosque beside, the muezzin called the afternoon prayer. His voice bursting into the classroom like detritus of a building destroyed by hurricane. Now the day is over, Odiola, the teacher said. I strapped my bag to my back like a hiker. My house walked closer to me. My house, my left hand on the knob of the door to our apartment. A woman sobbed in my future. I pressed down the knob. My mother sobbed in my presence. On her forehead, a mountain of pain made with punches. My mother stretched her hands wide like Jesus on the cross of Calvary. Mambobayo called me, she said, and sobbed. I ran to my mother, shamelessly burying my head in her pain, her body used on my father's fist. So lastly, I believe we need to let people know that peace is the kind of like is the fundamental foundation of love. That without peace we cannot achieve love. Yeah, love and peace. Without peace we can never achieve love. That's just the truth. Because I find it hard, to hear someone say, "Oh, I love this person," and yet you can't allow them have a peaceful life. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. Once again, my name is DM Aderibibe, and I'm currently a graduate student of Boston University. Thank you.